NetsBoy, so let's hear what he has to say. His name is NetsBoy, he thinks the world is all over when the Nets just can't play.
What up, Net fans? NetsBoy here, bring your latest and your holy crap, I don't believe it, Brooklyn Nets news. Woohoo! The Nets somehow pulled it off. They pulled it off. I didn't believe they were actually going to pull it off, but they somehow did. I heard the rumors, and I kept saying they're just rumors. They're not going to happen. This is the Nets. But they did it. The Nets got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. They're bringing them to Brooklyn. Oh, wow. Well, we got a lot to talk about in this episode. We got to talk about Kyrie. We got to talk about KD. We got to talk about the other free agents that the Nets are bringing in. So much to discuss, but I just wanted to, first of all, just talk about just how unbelievable it is, in my personal opinion, that this has happened. Okay, so I just want to just take a step back and just remember where the Nets were just a couple years ago, just 4 years ago, right? In the wake of the Billy King disaster, this team was a joke. This team was the laughingstock of the NBA. No one cared about them. And in 3 years, to go from that to being such a desirable franchise and organization that the two of the top 5 players in the NBA, and maybe Kyrie's not a top 5, but he's definitely top 10. And Kevin Durant, even with the Achilles, you still got to say he's top 5, wanted to team up and say, where do we want to go? Where do you and I want to work together where we feel like we can have the best chance to succeed? Let's go to the Nets. That's unbelievable. Like, I don't think I've ever been this excited to be a Brooklyn Nets fan since when I first was a fan back in the early 2000s when they were going to back-to-back Eastern Conference championships with Jason Kidd. And I was really young back then, but that was like my first really interaction with the Nets was watching as my hometown team, because I was from New Jersey, my hometown team winning championships or winning Eastern Conference championships and going to the NBA Finals. That was my first reaction, and I thought that was amazing. And then from that point on, I have been a Brooklyn Nets fan, or New Jersey Nets fan first, and then I stick with the team when they moved to Brooklyn ever since 2000 and 2001, 2002, during that span. So it's been almost 20 years of me being a Nets fan. And I have to say, this is probably one of the greatest moments, if not the greatest moments, of my Nets fandom career. I just everything about it. And like I said, where this organization was a couple years ago to where they are today is just, you just have to tip your hat and applaud Sean Marks and Kenny Atkinson for building this culture. And I want to say this, and this goes with my 20 years fandom tangent that I want to say. Throughout my entire Nets fan career, if that's a career, but I like to pretend it is. Throughout my entire Nets fandom, mispronouncing it, fandom. Throughout that whole span of me rooting for the Nets, I have always had to endure and deal with the arrogant, cocky, condescending, just so frustrating Knicks fans, constantly belligerent and talking down to and sticking their nose at you and just constantly saying, hey, you're the Nets. We're the Knicks. You're the Nets. No one cares about you. Who cares? You guys from Jersey. Oh, now you're coming to Brooklyn. That's so nice. We're the Knicks. We got Madison Square Garden. We have history, even though we haven't been good in like 20 years. We're the greatest franchise ever. We're entitled to get great players. Ha! Who's laughing now? That's the best part about all this. It really, really is. The best part about all this is not just the Nets got KD and Kyrie Irving. It's that the Knicks did it. The Knicks did it. This franchise that's supposed to be all great. The mecca of sports. The Garden. All this stuff. Dude, Knicks fans, listen carefully. Listen very carefully. If you haven't realized it yet, let me remind you, your organization is crap. It's been crap for 20 years, ever since Patrick Ewing left and Charles Oakley left. Your team has been garbage. The Knicks have been to the playoffs 5 times in 20 years. 5 times. Okay? The Nets have been in the playoffs 10 times in the last 20 years, including 2 Eastern Conference championships. So, who's the better organization? Seriously. Yet, no, it's always, we are the Knicks. We have the Mecca, the Garden. We have New York City. Brooklyn, that's not New York City, right? Brooklyn's just a borough. That's not New York City. That doesn't count. It's not the Knicks. It's not the orange and blue and all that stuff. We got Spike and all this. You guys are garbage and trash. Haven't you realized this yet? I have known this for the last 10, 15 years that the Knicks were trash. But I kept my mouth shut because I'm a Nets fan. And I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just little brother. You know, oh, how cute. How cute the Nets are winning their 42 games. We win 17 games, but we still think we should get Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. You know, I still can't believe LeBron didn't come to us. Your organization is crap. It's run like crap. It's been crap. Just now, I think they're finally understanding that, wait a minute. It takes more than just to look good on the outside. You need to be functional on the inside. And I do give a lot of props to the Knicks now. They're finally doing things the way they should have done it years ago when they missed LeBron James. When they didn't get LeBron James, they should have said, we got to start building. Okay, LeBron didn't want to come here. Why? We should start bringing in young players, picks, talents, what they're doing now. But no, we're the Knicks. We can't possibly get turned down more than once. We got turned down by LeBron. Well, no one likes LeBron. But let's go. We got a 95% chance that I'm told, that my sources are told, I'm Stephen A. Smith, that there's a 95% chance that Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are coming to New York. Well, guess what? You're right. They did come to New York. They went to Brooklyn. See? So, get off your high horse, Knicks fans, if you haven't yet already, okay? You're not good anymore. Yes, you have history. You absolutely do. You have a great history. Prior to the year 2002. Since 2000 and 2001, 2002. When you have been garbage. Before that, absolutely. And guess what? If this was 2003, 2004, yeah, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving probably would have come to your organization. Probably would have come to the Knicks. But what do you have to offer any free agent? The Mecca, the Garden. Guess what? They play at the Garden. No matter where they go, they're going to play at the Garden at least once because every team plays each other at least once on their home or away court. So no matter what, you could play for the Portland Trailblazers. You're going to be in the Garden at least once a year. You play in the division like the Nets will. You're going to play in the Garden two to three times a year. So if that's what it counts, you want to play there all the time? What else you got going for you? Okay, Madison Square Garden. We got history. Not recent history. You haven't done anything in 20 years. The Nets have more of a recent successful history as an organization than the Knicks do. Other than obviously the disastrous trade with Billy King. But that's why the Nets couldn't even dream of getting any free agents back, 4 or 5 years ago. Which is why Sean Marks came in and said, we're not going to get these guys. Let's be smart. We know where we are. We know we're a joke. Let's become not a joke by bringing in young talented players, taking chances on guys, establishing as many draft picks as we can, and build a culture. The Knicks never did that. They've been irrelevant for 20 years, and they thought that they were going to, it's like the people who always resort and look back at the past, right? They don't see what's in front of them. They keep saying, well, we used to be good. We used to be amazing. We used to be relevant, so we must be now. So I don't know why anyone who is, objective would ever have thought that these guys are going to go to the Knicks. All right, I'm being very honest. I don't see how anybody objectively could stand and look at all the franchises that these guys were looking at and say the Knicks were the number one team for them to go to. And if you think about it, on an objective standpoint, the Nets make 100% sense. KD, he didn't trust the Warriors anymore. he felt a little, he felt like he was, that he was being taken advantage of, and he felt that he did his part of helping them win a championship again and 2 championships, and just kind of felt like, I don't need to be here anymore. I kind of did it all. And then you got the Clippers, who, let's be honest, the Clippers, I hope the Clippers do get Kawhi, because under the circumstances now, I want the East to be weaker. Before, I wanted Kawhi to stay with the Raptors, but now I want him to go to the Clippers. I don't want him to go to the Lakers because I'm sick of these stupid, unbelievably ridiculous super teams. Like, that will break the NBA if, you got Kawhi, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. Beside the point. But, there was no true allure for KD to go to the Clippers. And then who else? The Knicks or the Nets? Those were the 4 teams that KD was tied to. Personally, I thought he was going to go back to Golden State just because he's going to say to himself, you know what, when I come back, I still want to win, and I know I can win with this team. But I think there was a few internal things. But for Knicks fans to be shocked that they didn't choose the Knicks, especially Kyrie Irving, who has said before he came a free agent, he was a Nets fan. He grew up in New Jersey, like me. He grew up a Nets fan following Jason Kidd, like me. He always wanted to play for the Nets. So it should have come to no shock that he immediately said, I want to go to the Nets. And that was reported. But remember, before it all started, before the playoffs even wrapped up, it was Kyrie Irving and KD were going to come to the Knicks. I don't know why. And I remember hearing that and saying, why? Why do they think this is going to happen? No one gave me an answer other than it's New York City and it's Madison Square Garden. Those were the only 2 things that people kept saying. Meanwhile, across the bridge, you have a 42-win team that's only on the rise, a much better team with better young talent. Even though the Knicks do have some young talent, I think the Nets' talent is better. You have a general manager who's only come in and done amazing move after amazing move to improve the roster. A coach that people strongly believe is one of the best coaches in the NBA up and coming. You have the same allure of New York City because you're in New York City. You're just in a different borough. But you also have half as much coverage and media attention. So if you do come in and you don't do as well, you're not getting scrutinized as much, even though now I think they will. And so, all of that right there, you have a state-of-the-art training facility that was brand new that everyone loves. All you hear is players saying how great the training facility is. And you got one of the best medical staffs around. And that's not just an opinion of that I have, but it's well documented that the Nets medical team is one of the best. And so when Kevin Durant tore the Achilles, ruptured the Achilles, that to me was yes, this is a huge leverage point because he wants to heal and become 100%. It also didn't hurt the fact, and this is another thing you need to realize, that the doctor who performed the surgery on Kevin Durant is one of the Nets team doctors. What? The guy who's helping him nurse a career-threatening injury works for the Nets? He can't possibly want to go to the Nets, though. He still wants to go to the Knicks because they got Madison Square Garden. Yeah. Put 2 and 2 together objectively. Now, like I said, I still am shocked because as a Nets fan throughout my life, I've been set up for disappointment after disappointment. But I still had this little sense of optimism of maybe this could happen. And when it does happen, I'm just objectively saying this makes tons of sense. And anyone who's not a Knicks fan who can look at things objectively would say, yeah, this really does make sense. And what drives me nuts more than anything else is still how the narrative is not Kyrie and Kevin Durant choose to go to Brooklyn. It's Kyrie and KD decided not to go to the Knicks. That's still the narrative. That still pisses me off. The sports talk radio in New York City is not, well, congratulations to the Nets. They did a great job. They made it desirable for them to come, the Kyrie and KD to come to Brooklyn. Good job for them. Good job for the Nets. No, that's not the narrative. It's how did the Knicks screw this up? They have New York City and Madison Square Garden. They have history. What did they do wrong? What's wrong with the Knicks? How did they screw this up? How could they possibly lose to the Nets when it comes to bringing in players? I don't get it. No, that's not what the narrative should be. It should be, why is it taking the Knicks so long to realize that they're not a destination anymore? They haven't been a destination for years. That's the narrative. Not how did these guys reject him. It should be what took them so long to realize now that they're not a desirable organization. That's what the narrative should be. It just gets me a little frustrated. So even now, I can't even fully enjoy the moment that is Kyrie and Kevin Durant coming to the Nets, because when I put on the radio, I still just hear, it's such a shock. It's such a shock. How? Use your brain. And that's my point. These Knicks fans are so arrogant and delusional that even when this is all happening, they still see it as more of a, well, he didn't like us, so there's got to be something wrong. Instead of they just simply like the other team better. You ever think of that? Maybe they just wanted to go to Brooklyn. Maybe they wanted to play for the Nets. They liked the situation better. It has, I'm sorry, I was supposed to talk about free agency, and I just had a 15-minute rant about this the Knicks fans and stuff like that. You know what? Then I'm not even going to continue anymore. I'm going to wrap up this video because this video was really just about the Knicks fans and the whole thing. I'll post another video in like a week about free agency. The Nets, yes, they got DeAndre Jordan as well, which is a huge reason why Kyrie and KD came in. They signed Garrett Temple, which whatever. They got Wilson Chandler as well, and they did a few. They signed and trade D'Angelo Russell. I'll talk about that too at some point. I just need to cool off. I just need to relax because this went from an exciting video to an angry video real fast. Because that's what the Knicks do to you, stupid Knicks fans, always screwing up my happiness. But anyway, so let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you agree with me that the Knicks just should not be surprised. Knicks fans should not be surprised that Kyrie and Kevin Durant did not pick them. And let me know if you agree with me on why it makes sense objectively. And I'll talk about the other free agency in like another week. The Nets still have, I think, 1 or 2 more roster spots available to sign free agency. I don't know who they're going to bring in, if anybody, because they still have, some, young guys and stuff. I don't know. We'll talk about that next episode. Keep your eyes open for that. It's probably be a week away. So, yeah, if you were looking for NBA free agency talk, I'm sorry. You just got a long rant about the Knicks, but whatever. Let me know what you guys think, if you're excited as I am overall. And we'll talk more about the expectations also later on in another episode. Because if I do this now, this video is just going to go like 25 to 30 minutes. And I just got to shut up and say, let's save it for the next time. So keep your eyes open. And until then, this is NetsBoy, signing off.
When the Nets just get